ब्रजवर नागर गोकुल रंजन कान गोकुल रंजन यशोमती नंदन ब्रजवर नागर गोकुल रंजन कान नंदन गोकुल रंजन कान गोपी परान धन मदन मनोहर कालिय दमन विधान गोपी परान धन गोपी परान धन मदन मनोहर कालिय दमन विधान कालिय दमन विधान अमल हरि नाम अमिय विलास अमल हरि नाम अमिय विलास अमल हरि नाम अमिय विलास अमिय विलास विपिन पुरंदर नवीन नागर वर बंशी वादन सुबास नवीन नागर विपिन पुरंदर नवीन नागर वर बंशी वादन सुबास विपिन पुरंदर नवीन नागर वर बंशी वादन सुबास ब्रजजन पालन सुरकुल नाशन नंद गोधन रखवाला ब्रजजन पालन सुरकुल नाशन नंद गोधन रखवाला ब्रजजन पालन सुरकुल नाशन नंद गोधन रखवाला जजन पालन सुरकुल नाशन नंद गोधन रखवाला गोविंद माधव नवनीत तस्कर सुंदर नंद गोपाला गोविंद माधव तस्कर सुंदर नंद गोपाल गोविंद माधव नवनीत तस्कर सुंदर नंद गोपाल गोविंद माधव तस्कर सुंदर नंद गोपाल यमुना तट चर गोपी वसन हर रास रसिका कृपामय यमुना तट चर गोपी वसन हर रास रसिका कृपामय यमुना तट चर गोपी वसन हर रास रसिका कृपामय यमुना तट चर गोपी वसन हर रास रसिका कृपामय श्री राधा वल्लभ वृंदावन नटवर भक्ति विनोद आश्रय श्री राधा वल्लभ वृंदावन श्री राधा वल्लभ वृंदावन नटवर भक्ति विनोद आश्रय श्री राधा वल्लभ वृंदावन नटवर भक्ति विनोद यशोमती नंदन ब्रजवर नागर गोकुल रंजन खान यशोमती नंदन वर नागर गोकुल रंजन खान यशोमती नंदन ब्रजवर नागर गोकुल रंजन खान यशोमती नंदन ब्रजवर नागर गोकुल रंजन खान नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी इति नामिने नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी इति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशधारिणे नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशधारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरा भक्त वृंद कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर गौर भक्त वृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरा भक्त वृंद कृष्ण प्रभु नित्यानंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरा भक्त वृंद श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम राम हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Madan Mohan Radhe. Jaya Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Madan Mohan Radhe. Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Sri Radhe, Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Sri Radhe. Jaya Mahaprabhu, 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 Jaya Mahaprabhu. Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha, Lakshmi Narasimha, Lakshmi Narasimha, Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha, Lakshmi Narasimha, Lakshmi Narasimha. Hari Thai Gora Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gora Hari Bol, Gora Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gora Hari Bol. Jai Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Is it good? Sound okay. जय विष्णुपाद प्रभंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतवचनार भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी जगत वल्लभ प्रभुपाद महाराज की, गौर भक्त वृंद की, हरे कृष्णा। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। You can go to the Mangala Charan, then we'll come. Om Ajnanatimmirandhasya Jnananjanasalakaya Chakshuranmilitam Yenai Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaham. Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Sayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Sa Padantikam. Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Pada Kamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamsa Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatha Nitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakha Nitamsa. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यो एव च पतितानं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयति गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरु दीनतारिणम्। ईश्वर परमकृष्ण सच्चिदानंद विग्रह अनादिरादिर्गोविंद सर्वकारण कारणम्। हरि ओम तत्सत्। You can go to the 6.5, Prabhuji. So we'll read this one today. Mind control or mind your mind. That means, so couple of verses from Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita and Srimad Bhagavatam we will compile and see how it fits for today's program. So let's start with chapter 6, Dhyana Yoga, text 5. So you can repeat after me. Udharet atmanatmanam natmanam avasadayet atmatvahi atmano bandhur atmevo ripur atmanah. Translation. Go down. One must deliver himself with the help of his mind and not degrade himself. The mind is the friend of the conditioned soul and his enemy as well. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The word Atma denotes body, mind and soul, depending upon different circumstances. In the yoga system, the mind and the conditioned soul are especially important. Since the mind is the central point of yoga practice, Atma refers here to the mind. The purpose of the yoga system is to control the mind and to draw it away from attachment to sense objects. It is stressed herein that the mind must be so trained that it can deliver the conditioned soul from the mire of nations. In material existence, one is subjected to the influence of the mind and the senses. In fact, the pure soul is entangled in the material world because the mind is involved with the false ego, which desires to lord it over material nature. Therefore, the mind should be trained so that it will not be attracted by the glitter of material nature. And in this way, the conditioned soul may be saved. One should not degrade oneself by attractions to sense objects. The more one is attracted by sense objects, the more one becomes entangled in material existence. The best way to disentangle oneself is to always engage the mind in Krishna consciousness. In Krishna consciousness, the word he used for emphasizing this point, that is, that one must do this, it is also said, Mano eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayo bandhaya vishayango muktya nirvishaya manaha. For man, mind is the cause of bondage and mind is the cause of liberation. Mind absorbed in sense subjects is the cause of bondage and mind detached from the sense subjects is the cause of liberation. Amrita Bindu, Upanishad 2. Therefore, the mind which is always engaged in Krishna consciousness is the cause of supreme liberation. So here we'll just understand something about the mind. So here Krishna is saying to Arjuna that mind is your best friend and mind is your also enemy. So that means, first conclusion here, that mind is something which is different from the spirit soul. And mind is something which is different from you. Suppose if I say, do you have a cell phone? That means you have a cell phone and you are not the cell phone, and cell phone and you are two different things. So if I say cell phone is your best friend or cell phone is your best enemy, that means how you use this mobile phone. Exactly, the mind is the same thing here. How do we consider the mind is the best friend? Because, Hare Krishna, when Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj giving the example, he said, one person asked, how do we control the mind? Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj gave a very beautiful example. He said, when you get up early in the morning, you beat your mind with shoes 40 times. And when you go to bed in the evening, you beat your mind with broom 40 times. That means you control the mind by whipping, by beating, because mind is disturbed. Mind always demands something to satisfy his need, not your need. So why are these two different things coexist in one body, one human being? Why these two different things coexist? What is the duality between these two? Why which is there in my body is not my friend? Why it is an enemy? So the example is, just like a father may have 5 sons, one of them may be a good son, another may be a bad son, and he will act animically. Aurangzeb is the son of whom? Aurangzeb is son of whom? Shah Jahan, right? And, yeah, I am not challenging, I am just saying Aurangzeb, but he killed whom? His brothers? Yes. He killed his elder brothers because the eldest one has to get the kingdom. And he also put him in jail, his father, and he enthroned. He occupied the throne. Why? Because he wants to be the king. So is Aurangzeb is a friend of his father? What is he? He is an enemy. Why? Because of his actions. He is an enemy. So similarly, if a son can be an enemy of a father, why not a mind can be an enemy of yourself? Son is the most dearest person in the whole world you can trust, right? Your father, if you don't trust your father, if you don't trust your mother, whom will you going to trust? Isn't it? So the question is, in myself, my mind is in my head, here. And I am, the spirit soul is in the heart. If these two elements are enemy, how can the body function? In United States, there are US Army and US Navy, right? They are the two integral part of the defense system. If the Army and the US Navy fights themselves, is United States will win the war? Going to win the war? Yes or no? No, right? Because the same two primary departments are fighting each other and they are not fighting. So what is the essence of this one? That one must concentrate on the one purpose. The one purpose is defend the nation from the bad elements. Similarly, the mind is the central element, central point of the yoga practice. The first understanding is mind is separate from spirit soul. There are 5 elements in our body. What are those? Earth, water, air, fire, ether, which is composed of, my hand is composed of blood, mucus, bone, marrow, muscles, skin, hair, everything. So which is out of these 5? Earth, air, water, fire, ether. And there are 3 elements which is subtle elements. That is called mind, intelligence, and false ego. So these three elements we'll read in the subsequent chapter. This transmigrates to another body. When you die, your hand doesn't go along with the spirit soul. Suppose you are wearing a ring, it doesn't go to the another body when you occupies. Your nose doesn't go, which is your eyes doesn't go along with this transmigration. That remains. That's why we can see them. A person is dead, we see that. But the mind, which is a distinct object, which is a distinct subject, and which is a distinct element, and one of the principal element of the spirit soul, which transmigrates along with the body. Along with the soul to another body. So when he goes, you can see if his mind has developed maturely in his previous lives, he will be brilliant in the childhood. There are some people are foolish, some people are brilliant, right? Some people are very advanced in the childhood, they can do heavy math in a minute. They can memorize all these slokas in 1 hour. There are some people try for 5 years, still they cannot memorize 5 slokas. So this has been fertile from their previous birth. So it is a continuous journey. And this continuous journey, we just know from point A to point B. That is, our birth is point A, our death is point B. But from A to G, which is unlimited, we do not know it. Then how do we know it? That Krishna says that first thing is you try to, when you say, oh, you got a job? Yes. Try to develop friendship with his manager. Isn't it? First thing is, try to develop friendship with your boss. Isn't it? Or try to develop friendship with your boss, secretary, whatever it is. So similarly, the first principle or commandment in the spiritual science is to develop friendship with your mind. You do not need to drive 20 miles to San Francisco to find out who is my boss, secretary. Your mind is within yourself. Is it a hard thing? If I say, develop friendship with your wife, that could be maybe hard. That could be hard. But something is within you. Develop friendship with your mind. Is it a difficult statement? But there is difficulty. That's why Krishna is saying, commandments are there because there is a deviation. Children do not shout, yell outside the temple complex. I mean, there is deviation. So that's why the commandment is there. Do not park your car in the physical disabled section. So there is a commandment. So we try to disagree that. So that's why people are there. So it has been said many times. So first commandment in the spiritual life is central point of yoga practice is develop friendship with the mind. So what is the mind then? Mind, is it a brain? No, brain is not mind. Brain is a framework or a template which makes this system, the mind to occupies there and triggers the nervous system. So mind is a subtle thing. Brain is a gross thing. Whole thing, but it occupies certain brain in order to function it. For example, then you can say how a person dies, let's say he got a birth of a bird or an animal and somebody takes birth of a human being. So God has created the brain structure for every living being in a way that your mind occupies there. It's likely very integral part. You cannot even design that. Brahma has designed it. So when the spirit soul goes to some body, he will function in that way. Suppose you take birth as a fish. You do not come out, oh my God, I was having in house in Menlo Park, I have to go. No, you are in ocean. You have to, that's why it is called law of nature. Law of nature is enforced within us without our knowledge. Without our knowledge, the law of nature is enforced. Even though we are rebellious against God, sometimes say people are so much shouting against God, yelling, they're atheists, where God is not reacting. He has put material nature. They are their bodyguards. They are Krishna's bodyguard, the material nature. Is the king has to come if anybody is throwing stones on the outside of the wall? He has bodyguard. How many military forces, right? They will shoot them. So he doesn't need to come there. Why? Because he has all the force who is there to defend the kings. But if somebody is praising, oh, king is so great, king is this, and I want to be. The bodyguard, okay, let this person go inside. So these are the material nature, is the shield or the bodyguard of God, which protects the atheist people so that they say something, so that their free will is not disturbed. So they can express their views. They can express their, welcome, their viewpoint and their imagination within the periphery of the material nature. And there are two functions of Maya. One function is make them happy. You are the winner. God is dead. You are the winner. So that brings us the topic that how mind is functioning here. Can you go to the second sloka which I sent in the link, Prabhuji? Bishop Prabhu? Yes, 6. You can repeat after me. Bandhuratmanam stasya, atmatmanastasya yenatma batatma jitaha. Sorry, I am not able to see the distance, my specs, okay? You guys can correct me. Anatmanastu satrutve Vartitatma satruvad. Go to the translation. For him who has conquered the mind is the best of friends. But for one who has failed to do so, his mind will remain the greatest enemy. Okay, go to purport. Let me read. The purpose of practicing Eightfold Yoga is to control the mind in order to make it a friend in discharging the human mission. Unless the mind is controlled, the practice of yoga for show is simply a waste of time. One who cannot control his mind lives away always with the greatest enemy, and thus his life and its missions are spoiled. The constitutional position of the living entity is to carry out the order of the superior. As long as one's mind remains an unconquered enemy, one has to serve the dictations of lust, anger, avarice, illusion, etc. But when the mind is conquered, one voluntarily agrees to abide by the dictation of the personality of Godhead, who is situated within the heart of everyone as Paramatma. Real yoga practice entails meeting the Paramatma within the heart and then following his dictation. For one who takes Krishna consciousness directly, perfect surrender to the dictation of the Lord follows automatically. Okay? So here the first one we got is that mind is a substance which is distinct from spirit soul. So mind and spirit soul is two different things. I and mind are two different things. I and intelligence are two different things. I am an intelligent person, but I am not intelligence. I have superior mental strength, but I am not mind. I have a beautiful body or handsome, I have a beautiful girl, but I am not a body. I am not this body. So that is the first thing, dictation. And second one, Krishna says that whom you wanted to make your friends, when you go to the office, make your friends with your boss. Right? So that you grow well, isn't it? The key to success is develop friendship with your boss. And now, the key to success in the spiritual thing is develop friendship with your mind. Now, Krishna is saying how to conquer the mind. So then, the mind is an element, is not going to be friends. Like it's like India and Pakistan. Isn't it? They're like enemies, always. Or China or US. Or China, US or Russia. I'm just giving some theoretical example. Can they be, you go and talk, US goes to talk Russia, or go for dinner, we had a dinner, now you are gone. Very good. Is the friendship is done? You have to have a scheme. treaty, right? You have to write down, oh, conditions number 1, clause number 1, nuclear disarmament. We have to do for the United Nations Security Council. We have to do. There are many schemes, diversification. So exactly, you cannot conquer. If you wanted to conquer a country, what do you do? You have to make your armies, right? Your navy, your army, your air force, everything has to well situated. And then you measure the strength of the enemy. How? The strength of the enemy, and then you place, like Akshoni. Then you place in Chakravyuha, and then you attack, and then you conquer. Suppose you have big enemies within your country, which is like Naxals, and they are always rebellious and they are powerful. Can the country be peaceful? Can the commander-in-chief would be sleeping nicely? No. He cannot sleep nicely. So you have to conquer. The word here Krishna is using, you have to mind the words of Krishna. What he's saying? You have to conquer the mind. So mind is not an element which you develop friendship by, mind is my friend. It's not going to be your friend. How these things I'll explain later. So what is there? So you have to design a scheme. Design a beautiful military force. And who are those military force? 5 senses. The department of 5 senses. The senses of eye is let's say, our US Air Force. My tongue is US Army. And my ear is US Navy. So let's talk about 3 things. These 3 departments has to be strong to defend the enemies or to conquer the mind. How? Mind doesn't listen to your words. Means, go 49ers match, go to Levi Stadium, or it will say go to San Francisco, nobody is coming, Shah Rukh Khan is coming, go dance with him, or go watch the cricket throughout the night and day, or something. So these are the attractions. Those attractions are coming to your, popping up. Who does that? Who gives you this information to go there? Mind tells you, go there, watch the cricket match, you will enjoy. Then mind tells you what? Go there, eat in the beautiful restaurant. Forget you have credit card, right? Go there, don't worry. Buy the car, do this, that mind does. And how he does? How he conquers you? Through your eyes. That is US Air Force. You bribe, right? If you say the soldiers bribe, don't shoot that terrorist, just take this money. Okay, come. US Army, you bribe. Oh, in Mexico you can do immigrants, follow in one car or one truck, 100 people give you $5,000. You bribe people. So the mind bribes your senses. How? If you want hearing chanting, the mind will come as a form of your sister. You are at this age, how old you are, 25? Is it the age to chant or hear this Hare Krishna? It's old age. It's 58, at least 58 you chant or hear chanting. Mind comes in the form of your sister in such a sweet tone. It tells you, then you get distracted. Yes, I'm 25. I'm right. 52, at least 52. Forget about, stop this chanting of Hare Krishna. Turn on the Bollywood music now. Dhum tama, dhum tama, dhum tama. Then it goes on. And you dance with the tune of that Bollywood song. That is US Army is attacked. Then your tongue. If you talk on Bhagavad Gita to someone else, oh, you should go to the temple. Are you kidding? You should go. You're a boy. You're not watching cricket. Are you? What's your name? Girish. You're watching cricket, right? Yes. If you one day you skip, your friends will say, didn't watch? Are you crazy? So this will attack. Oh, you're going to Hare Krishna without watching cricket? Such, who will come? The mind would come as a form of your friends and they will trigger you. What they will see? They will attack you through your ear, which will be hard to digest. Cannot digest now today because They're penetrating my ear. My goodness, मेरा मर्दांगी को जाग लिया. They have really done me that I cannot do this. I cannot do that. So then you basically diverted. So in all essence, one quality has to be developed. That is tolerance. Tolerance means listens to their criticism. Silence your mind. Listen to their criticism and silence your mind so that don't conquer the mind. The first step enemy to curb is submit to him. Be humble. If a big enemy is coming, because initial days you cannot fight. This statement is for Arjun in higher stage. It cannot be applicable to ordinary persons like us. So first thing is submit to the mind. How? My dear mind, you are really not my friend, or you are my friend, but you are more powerful than my self-control. You are more powerful than my own self-position. Because I admit that. You submit to the mind first. How? That I don't want to. If you are conquering something, you must be superior. You must know the art of fighting. If you do not know karate, how are you going to fight the person who knows judo and karate? You cannot. Right? If you cannot run 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 1 mile, how can you fight with a dog which is chasing you? Namaste ji. Please don't bite me. Something like that. So first step, the weak person's step is humility. How? If somebody is coming in an angry mood, let's say you are going, you bang someone's car in a freeway or in a El Camino traffic, and the persons whom you banged your car is a very staunch man and a rowdy, and he looked at you like this and you are likely, oh my God, you're shivering. And he wanted to come from his car. Then what do? You come from your car. Then he will punch you, right? Because he is more strong. He is more arrogant. And he is very angry. How to stop that? My dear sir, I am very sorry. Simple word. I am very sorry. It's my fault. Please. Then 95% chances he won't punch you. Oh, that's all right. You are such a great man. I think you will understand. I am really new to driving. I have not done very good driving recently. If you are you fault? You don't know? Can you move? You can't move forward? Are you crazy? If you do that, what is going to happen? Definitely the punch is coming. Then if you are strong, you can punch back, but that goes on. Who knows? So point is, you cannot conquer your enemies unless you are capable, unless you are superior, unless the talent is more than the enemy. Isn't it? Who wins? Who wins in cricket? Who does? Good talented batsman, right? You must know cover drive, you must play leg byes, you must do the forward, up, or down, all the sides, full toes or anything, any kind of things. You have all kind of talents, then you play well. So similarly, we have to develop all kinds of strength, then only you can fight against the mind. So Krishna here is saying, for him who has conquered the mind is the best friend. So the essential point is, you are not going to develop friendships artificially. I mean, US, you are Chinese, handshake, friendship is done. No. Friendship is not done. You have to hear. There are 4 sounds of the Vedas. Veda has 4 sounds. 3 sounds is in the human body. And 1 sound you can see. The sound, 3 sound is 1 sound is in the heart. 1 sound is in the intelligence. 1 sound is in the mind. And 1 sound is in the tongue. But if I utter in my tongue, then only you can hear. But can you hear the sound of my intelligence? Can you hear the sound of my mind? Can you hear the sound of my heart? So 70% sound is inside me. So exactly the mind, to conquer the mind, what you have to do is, first thing is submission. Humility, develop humility, submissive. They agree that I am defeated. My dear mind, you crush me now. Then you suffer. Mind takes you there, you experience. You follow the mind. Okay, mind is saying me to go to watch the cricket match, watch until 4 a.m. Then you next day, at least you develop lessons learned. I got it, oh my God, I'm so tired, I'm so getting bored, I'm frustrated, I'm this and that. Then you next day you try, okay, I will watch 2 hours only, or I will watch highlights only. Then you go for the next step. So similarly, disengagement of the sense objects is not done immediately. It takes years after years. So what you do is, essential part, the first sloka we got, mind is a different subject, different object, it is distinct, it is different than you. And the second one is, mind cannot be friend without conquering it. So you must win it. So if something to be owned means, you must develop the art, the knowledge, the talents to win the mind. And how do you do? Go to the next one, Prabhuji. Scroll down, let me see the translation. Can you? Okay, so we'll come back to the next, this one. So go to the other one which I sent from Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay. Yeah. This is Srimad Bhagavatam. I will read the translation. Go down. So Srimad Bhagavatam, here, can you read the sloka number or chapter? 10, right? Yeah, 10:32. Let me see how we jump to a completely different one. Go to translation. So then Lord Krishna, a smile on his lotus face, appeared before the gopis, wearing a garland and a yellow garment. He directly appeared as one who can bewilder the mind of Cupid, who himself bewilders the minds of ordinary people. So who is bewildering us? This is very good, interesting things which I brought right now, because I just kept your mind in the topic. I will come to a conclusion, so I am keeping there. Now, we are bringing the substance of conquering the mind. How to mind your business? Means, if somebody comes you when you are cooking, oh, put some dal, put some haldi, put some salt, then you get irritated. You said, mind your business. Right? Have you ever said to your wife? No? You never said, you don't know cooking then. You are not married. Oh, that's why. So, how about you? You are also bachelor. We have a lot of bachelor parties here. Okay. How about you? Did you say to your husband, mind your business? Yes? Yes? Not in cooking, in driving. Yes. So we wanted to safeguard. So we said, mind your business. Because we wanted to say that what I am doing is right. And that may be the true. So mind your business, my dear mobile phone. Okay, so let me put it silence mode. So silence your mind, silence your cell phone, both are same thing. So now, this loka, it is coming. What I wanted to bring is, you cannot win the mind on your own. You are one soldier. Mind has a different tactics, different way to defeat you, different way to trap you. Because mind gets help from Maya. You cannot defeat a country, let's say Kuwait, because it gets help from US. Then can you defeat? Can you defeat? It gets help from superpower. So the mind, your mind itself, is getting help from whom? Maya. Illusion. Maya is illusion and also called the not, which is not. So Maya is also a form of, another form of God, which is called shadow. It gets help from two persons. One is from Maya, and shall I tell another person? You'd be very harassed, worried if two persons' name, if you listen. Another person's name is the personified Yuga. Who is the personified Yuga? Kali Yuga. So he gets help from two important persons. Right? One is from Maya, another is from Yuga, that is Kali. Kali Yuga's characteristic is to do four things. What he does? He will try to induce you in meat eating, He will try to induce you in intoxication, drink alcohols, drink wine, drink drugs. He will induce you in gambling, and he will induce you in doing illicit sex. The fourth thing, his job is. So it will pump on the intelligence into the mind, and it will do. And second person, Maya, which has two functions, which always try to keep you under her control. Who doesn't want your control? A mom, do you want your kids to be under your control, right? You want you may not have. Do you want you have children? No, you are not married to. A lot of bachelors. So no matter what, but whoever his friend is there also, you want to make control of that. So these two personalities, two characteristics they have. 4 characteristics this Kali Yuga, 2 characteristics this Maya has. You put you down, it means completely, all continuously suffering, like camel. Camel is a poor animal which eats thorn, and his tongue is bitten by the thorn, and blood comes out of it. And he drinks that blood, and he thinks, so tasty this thorn is. That is called Maya. Do you understand the characteristics of Maya? Something is harming to your body. What is this? Smoking, right? Smoking, but the Maya is such a way bewildering you. Such a great divine experience, right? People think they are not understanding. They are bringing all kind of Maya into their body. But they are declaring themselves. Great feeling. Cool. Prabhupada says they are feeling hot. They are drinking the hot smoke. They are feeling cool. So this is the business of Maya, to keep you in that particular mode. So what we do? What we do is we have to conquer the mind. And how do you conquer the mind? Krishna is another person whose form is Jai. Jasla Prabhupada ki Jai. So, he is bewildering gopis, and he is bewildering mind of the ordinary people. How? There could be 2 interpretations. Krishna is bewildering in a way that people cannot understand him, his nature. I am bewildered because Krishna has to remove his effulgence, Brahmajyoti, so that I can relate myself. And Krishna is also bewildering the gopis. Means they are attracted towards Krishna. And he is also bewildering whom? The mind of the Cupid. Who is the Cupid? Kamadeva. The Kamadeva can bewilder Lord Shiva. The Kamadeva can bewilder all these sages. It penetrates into the heart of the Vishwamitra. And then he was attracted to whom? Menaka. And then he forgot his spiritual identity, spiritual practice. He enjoyed thousands of years with Menaka. And then again he regained his consciousness. But by the time, the Cupid has done his job. So similarly, we are all attracted by some other, by illusory potencies. And the mind is a person who everybody tries to make their friendship. Just like if you wanted to buy a home, you go to real estate agent, right? To make friendship with him so that he gets me good deal out of it, because she's laughing, smiling, because her husband is a good real estate agent. Amar Prabhu. So similarly, all these potentials with the Lord, they make friendship with mind. So just like if you are a person in purchasing organization in a company, all the vendors make friendship with whom? The purchasing manager, right? Oh, you buy from us, you buy from us, you buy from us, you buy from us. Why? Because they have to sell their stuffs. All the potencies of the Lord whom you see, the Mayas and all, they first develop friendship with your mind. Why? Because they have to sell their stuffs. What is their stuffs? As I mentioned, Kali Yuga had 4 things he sells. What are those 4 things? Meat eating, gambling, Illicit sex, intoxication. Intoxication means, phew, my God, such a nice one in Napa Valley. Did you go? It's wine. It sells. Who sells? Kali. Whom he makes friendship? With the mind. And mind is integrated with your 5 senses. The eye sees in the TV. Boom, 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 dance. Drinking and all it coming. Then you are attracted, jumping. Oh my God, such a beautiful wine. I go call my wife, WhatsApp, please get that from Costco. Or somewhere else you are there. Please get that wine. Then I saw boom, 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 meat, chicken. And then again, Whole Foods. Whole Foods has new prawn, shrimp. Text WhatsApp, get that. So we are all attracted because we are bribed by our best friend. Somebody bribed our best friend, mind. And that is the business of this age. In Satyayuga is favorable. Just imagine, Satyayuga, the yoga personified, gives you help in goodness. Eat vegetarian, compassion to others. Everything it gives. Then they perform the austerities. But in Kali Yuga, everything is unfavorable. Our mind is not under control. Just like I'm saying in a family, my mother is not listening to me, my children are hitting me, my brother is kicking me, my husband is not loving me. So we are likely homeless in our own home, isn't it? So there is one hope, that the Harinam Kirtan. Why is this one is important, Harinam? Kaled dosu nidhe rajan asti eko mahad guna kirtanad krishnasya mukta sangha param brajet. Because this holy name is the best friend. So why I am bringing this one? Because Krishna can bewilder the mind of Cupid, can bewilder the mind of the gopis, can bewilder us in a different ways. Bewilder us means he can bewilder us. We forgot that Krishna is God. He can bewilder through the Maya so that we can forget the progress of spiritual things. He can bewilder us so that we will be confused to justify that my guru is a bogus guru. We cannot understand that, and we will accept someone who is preaching completely against the devotional service. Because it depends on whom you are making friends. First thing is, what you do? In India, the movement started is anti-corruption, right? First thing is stop the bribe. So we have to also do a campaign. What is that? Stop bribing the mind. Who are the people who are bribing? Kali Yuga is bribing and Maya is bribing. Two of them are very powerful enemies for the spirit soul. But they develop good friends. Without our knowledge, they develop good friends. Like illicit sex. Like they develop good friends. So the mind is immoral. The mind is illicit now. He is not listening to us. He is becoming more towards the Maya and Kali Yuga. So what you do is go to the next one, Prabhuji. The next sloka I have sent 3. Here, okay. So this is another one. The mind of the living entity continues to exist in various gross bodies, and according to one's desire for sense gratification, the mind records different thoughts. In the mind, these appear together in different combinations. Therefore, these images sometimes appear as things never seen or never heard before. Let me recite the Sanskrit sloka. Can you go up? Yes. Who is a good reader? Prabhuji, Dheeraj Prabhuji, can you recite it? I am not able to see it so far.
Sarve kramanurodhena manasindriya gocharaha ayanti bahuso yanti sarve samana sojanaha.
Go to the translation. Again, let me read it. The mind of the living entity, can you repeat after me? Continues to exist in various gross bodies and according to one's desire for sense gratification, the mind records different thoughts. In the mind, these appear together in different combinations. Therefore, these images sometimes appear as things never seen or never heard before. Purport, can you scroll down? So, the activities of the living entity in the body of a dog may be experienced in the mind of a different body. Therefore, those activities appear never to have been heard or seen. The mind continues, although the body changes. Even in this lifespan, we can sometimes experience dreams of our childhood, although such incidents now appear strange. It is to be understood that they are recorded in the mind. Because of this, they become visible in dreams. The transmigration of the soul is caused by the subtle body, which is the storehouse of all kinds of material desires. Unless one is fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness, material desires will come and go. That is the nature of the mind, thinking, feeling and willing. As long as the mind is not engaged in meditation on the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, the mind will desire so many material enjoyments. Sensual images are recorded in the mind in chronological order and they become manifest one after another. Therefore, the living entity has to accept one body after another. The mind plans material enjoyment and the gross body serves as the instrument to realize such desires and plans. The mind is the platform onto which all desires come and go. Srila Narottam Das Thakur therefore sings, Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chittete Koriya Aikyo Aruna Koriho Mone Asa. Narottam Das Thakur advises everyone to stick to the principle of carrying out the orders of the spiritual master. One should not desire anything else. If the regulative principles ordered by the spiritual master are followed rigidly, the mind will gradually be trained to desire nothing but the service of Krishna. Such training is the perfection of life. So what is that thing I wanted to mention here? That you need training. To control the mind, you need training. Now you understand that who is our enemy. Our enemy is powerful. We understand that Krishna is the only person who can give us shelter and we can surrender to the lotus feet of Krishna. Then only our mind will be controlled. Now, the thing is that here I'm giving some historical things. Why many things have come? Many people say, I saw a dream of a golden mountain. Right? Is Golden Mountain there? Golden Mountain is there in Sumeru. When they come for the churning of the ocean, they brought the Golden Mountain. What is it called? Mandara Mountain, which is gold. What happened? Because it's a gold mountain, so the demigods and the demons are not able to carry it. So they carried it, but it was so heavy. Gold is heavier than stone, right? Just imagine such a gold mountain, 8,000 yojanas, thousands of miles height. How many? 64,000 miles height. They are carrying it, but they are not able to do it. So they prayed to God. God came and they are helping them. When God comes, all their mind was satiated with fatigue and disturbed by anxieties and so much of curiosity was there. So they got refreshment. And what happened in the Garuda when they come? One side of the wing, all the demigods sat. Another side of the wing, all the demons. And they're flying like Star Wars. It's real Star Wars. Here we are doing the toys, but they're real. Can you believe how big the aeroplane of God is? How big is it? Millions of demigods, millions and billions of demons, they are sitting in one bird of God, which is Garuda. And Garuda is, on the center is the Mandara mountain, which is 64,000 miles height. Such heavy, you can't trillions and trillions of tons. And both the sides, the demigods and demons are there, they are not fighting. Because they have one purpose. What is that? To get the nectar. So they are making a treaty with each other. And the Garuda is flying. And the Garuda is flying, right hand side is Indra, Chandra, Varuna, Surya, and the left hand side is Daityaraj, all the demons. And they are sitting, and just imagine, they are sitting there, but nobody is thinking, their mind is not there to go back to Godhead. Okay, let's go. Krishna took all of them, but they are sitting in Vishnu's, they are seeing God in front of their eyes. They are sitting in the carrier of Garuda, all of them. But none of them had a thought that, Krishna, let's go back. Can you turn your wheel towards Vaikuntha? Let's all go. He could have taken them all. But no, we have to get our, honey. We have to get gold, we have to get diamond, we have to get horses, elephants, and many things. Amrita is there. We have to drink Amrita. But Krishna himself is the Amrita they go. But that mind is a reflection, a repository of many different thoughts. So sometimes people say, why would come to the temple and we don't become a pure devotees? Because we have enormous thoughts. Mind has a recording millions and trillions of thoughts which manifest year after year. So sometimes we act like cat. Sometimes people say you are likely act like a so cunning and so things. Sometimes we act like a deer, or sometimes we act like something is very unusual. Because mind is recorded, Prabhupada has mentioned, in a chronological order. In 2000 years ago, you have experienced something which is recorded in the mind. Even though you are in a different body, which is not manifest. And that manifests in form of dream. And then we experience those things exactly, and then if we desire more. So how to overcome that? By being a devotee. So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita's 2nd chapter, just like the oceans in the the waves in the ocean, unlimited, we do not count. So desires are unlimited. We do not plan them to execute, to fructify. Let's say we have thousands of desires. Everybody will have thousands of desires. Millions of desires, right? We all have millions of desires. But only thing we have to train our mind, my dear mind, can you do me one thing? Let the desire come, but do not execute the plan. Like mind is the planning commissioner. Planning commissioner's job is to approve the plan so that it will be executed. They approve the plan means, okay, there will be 5 different parks will be set up in San Jose State or San Jose City. Then it will be carried out by the different departments. The governor has decided. So mind is like the governor. He is ordering you to execute the plans or the desires. So what we do is, we say, do not act on those. Let that come, let that finish. Let the bubble comes, let the bubble dies. It's like a bubble. So what execution we have to take? We have to take to the service of Krishna. And how it comes? It doesn't come automatically. How it comes? It comes by training. And the training process is, that is the one which I will go back to different topics to understand how the training comes. So before I go further, I wanted to stop here and ask anybody has questions or any comments or any questions. Please use the microphone.
I understand that the mind has, it keeps traveling to different bodies. So,
mind doesn't, spirit soul, and mind is one of the element of the spirit soul, it travels. Yeah.
So, but you explained the role of the different demigods. One of them is Maya Devi, like who's worshipped as Durga, right? So her role in Kali Yuga is to bribe through all these 4 ways, like intoxication.
Kali Yuga's job is to intoxicate.
Yeah, in Kali Yuga. But how does she bribe in Sat Yuga? Her role, the mind is still the same, but her role in different yugas change, right?
Okay.
So can you explain, like,
yes,
how does she attract or bewilder people in Sat Yuga than other yugas? And so, like,
yes.
Yeah.
Sure. I will just explain that. I will explain with an example so that it would be more comprehensive. So this is one of my favorite examples which I bring always. So one time, one Brahmin who used to chant his Gayatri, I spoke it also earlier. He chants his Gayatri 6 a.m., 12 noon and 6 p.m. without fail. Without fail. For many years, he used to chant his Gayatri. Do you know Gayatri means chanting the mantras? 3 times one Brahman has to chant 3 Sandhya. So when he is doing it, one day he slept around 11:30 a.m. in the afternoon. Just he wants to take a nap. And Maya Devi came in his dream and waking him up. My dear sir, your time for Gayatri has come. Please wake up. Please wake up. Please wake up. So, what does it mean? Why Maya is helping? It is a good thing, right? You skip his Gayatri, that means he is not following his religious principles, his religious vow. It is a good thing. But no, Maya is helping because that person has developed pride. That Brahmin has developed pride that I cannot skip my rounds. I cannot skip my rounds. I am so big. I cannot skip my Gayatri in thin air. So Maya is helping that Brahmin to continue to grow his pride rather than breaking his vow. So this is a very beautiful example which I bring to you. So similarly, in Satya Yuga, Maya attacks in a different way, that you are superior to your spiritual master. Your superior knowledge. You are more religious. You are more powerful in any ways. So Maya's attacks to different persons in a different ways. A gross sense, Maya attacks in a gross level. A sinful person who is a butcher, Maya attacks that you are doing the great job, you continue to do. But Maya attacks to the Brahmins also by pride, arrogance, attachment. So those are the things. In Satya Yuga, so Maya is always there. That also attacks you, that you are a great king. You are doing 50,000 cows donations, charity every day. You are such a great king. Continue to do that. Then there may be chances you become puffed up. So these are all higher qualities, which is thinking himself superior, thinking to be greater, not being humble to the Brahmin community, and many other things. So in that form, Maya has a different tactics to attack different people in a different way, so that he becomes more puffed up. You've got it?
Can I ask a follow-up question?
Yes.
But the other point which I felt missing here is that, like the two more yugas, right? Because, one is Dwapar and Treta. So how does this, how does her style, operating style change, through those things? That can apply in this yuga also, this thing. But so there's something specific she operates in those three different yugas, right?
Yes.
And other thing which I'm wondering is is she also all the demigods? They also under Krishna's control. So they are also being bribed by Krishna. Is there a thing like that?
Yes.
They're also being the way we are being bribed by her. So she's also being bribed by Krishna also.
Yes.
Right.
Good point. So as there is to detect the bribe, we have vigilance officer, right? Right? Anti-corruption officer, vigilance officer, all like that. So they detect it. So for those superior beings, even though Maya tries to attack, Maya continues to try to attack everybody. Just like Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur was chanting his rounds in front of Tulsi. 192 rounds per day. So Maya Devi, personally, she did not send any form. She personally assumed the form of a beautiful girl. And in the kutir, it's a full moon day, very beautiful moon flooding. And Haridas Thakur is chanting in front of Tulsi. And she appeared there. She appeared there with all different postures. Thousands and million times better than the postures of the Oscar award, Hollywoods and Bollywoods, with all the different things. and it's the most beautiful lady. She came in front of Haridas Thakur. And then there are two examples happened, right? One is a prostitute came to entice Haridas Thakur and she got purified. And another is the Maya Devi herself came, and that time Haridas Thakur gave the mantra, Hare Krishna mantra or Ram mantra, he gave to Maya Devi and she chanted it. And that time he got a commitment, promise, that if a sincere devotee, you do not disturb them. If a surrendered devotee, you do not disturb them. So Maya Devi is following Haridas' command with our Guru Parampara, so that as long as, if your only thing she checks that your sincerity, whether you are sincere or not to trap you. Because going to Krishna, we have a quality check, right? When we are building iPhone and all, we have a quality check. So similarly, we have quality check, and for them also, God checks the quality of your devotions, whether how far you have progressed. Just like we do examinations, okay, you got GRE this much, you got GMAT this much marks, so that you can go to this college, this school. So it differentiates your quality of level of understanding. So that's one. Your first question was how Maya adopts her styles in different yuga, right? Different yuga means Treta Yuga, Satya Yuga, Kali Yuga and all. So in different yuga, Maya knows the essential part and the yuga dharma, and the part of the 4 yugas. In Satya Yuga is meditation is the yuga dharma. Treta Yuga is the fire sacrifice is the yuga dharma. Dwapara Yuga is the deity worship is the yuga dharma. Kali Yuga is a chanting of the holy name is the yoga dharma. So, if somebody is performing that one, Maya is very happy at the same time. But she adopts a style just like Duryodhan. She captured whom? Duryodhan. And how does she does it? She remains and making quarrel between the families, giving the importance of enjoyment and playing the gamble. In many other forms, she comes and her styles are adopted. In Treta Yuga, she comes in the form of mantra or in a different form to Surpanakha, who comes to kidnap Ram and Lakshmana. So there are different styles and different things which comes and applies to the living beings to make sure that they do not cross over God's kingdom. So with that, I think anybody has any questions? Okay, let's move on. So this one, you have? Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Can you please elaborate a little bit about difference between mind and intelligence, and is it like a physical, logical, or please?
Yeah. So as both of them are the subtle elements, so the intelligence and the mind, repository of the thoughts, and mind has yama, niyama, all the things. But intelligence, what it does, giving an example which Prabhupada gave, just like you see the chariot. In a chariot, we have 5 horses, and the passenger who is sitting, and the driver. So the 5 horses are considered as 5 senses, and the mind is considered as the driver, and the rope which is connecting from the horse's nose to the driver is considered the intelligence. And the passengers who is sitting in the chariot is considered the spirit soul. So now let me take you through that. That if the chariot is moving in a rocky road, then you need to really avoid the rocks. But the driver takes to the rocky side, there will be a bump. And who suffers? The passengers. So similarly, what it does is, in the same example, the mind is leading the intelligence. Intelligence makes the decision. Intelligence is the discriminating power. Discriminating power means you take some actions. Then you discriminate between the gravity of the outcome. Okay, you may get this much of pious activities, you may get this much of sinful actions. So those are the things which is there by the intelligence. And just like the driver and the rope, which I consider, from there you can divide or derive many examples. But this is the one example which is from the some Upanishads, I don't remember, but Prabhupada has given. In Bhagavad Gita also we have the picture of that. Okay? Any other topic? Okay, let's go to then the next sloka, Prabhuji, Vishnu Prabhuji. Yeah. Okay, let me read. Manogatim na visrajes jita prano jitendriya satta sampannaya buddhva mano atma vasam nayet. Is there anyone on the internet have a question or something? Vishnu Prabhu? They can text your number or something like that? Generally phone people don't come, you come to the Mayapur TV. So you can give what is your number? Okay, please put on that. So if they have something, we are we are with them also, so not forgetting. So let me read the translation. You can repeat after me. One should never lose sight of the actual goal of mental activities, but rather conquering the life air and senses and utilizing intelligence strengthened by the mode of goodness. One should bring the mind under the control of the self. So you got it? So now, after this one, we'll go to the Bhagavad Gita, where I have left it, the one sloka. So what it does is, let me read the purport. Wait, Prabhuji, Although the mind may suddenly wander outside the jurisdiction of self-realization, one must bring the mind back under control by clear intelligence in the mode of goodness. The best solution is to keep the mind always busy in the service of Lord Krishna, so that the mind cannot wander into the dangerous path of sense gratification, headed by sex attraction. The material mind is naturally inclined to accept material objects at every moment. Therefore, unless the mind is seriously brought under control, there is no possibility of becoming steady on the path of spiritual advancement. So Krishna here given the real formula of how to train your mind. So first one we got in the sloka is conquering the mind is utmost or mandatory requirement. There is no way you can develop friendship with mind. So forget about it. What mind is saying is correct or not correct, you must have to verify based on the intelligence. Suppose mind is saying me, do not fast or eat grain on Ekadasi, otherwise you will be weak. Those who are practicing Ekadasi, otherwise let's say those who are not, those who are practicing Janmashtami, mind is saying, drink water, what's the big deal? Drink or eat food offered to Krishna on that date because you can win over it. But as per the injunctions, what is there? That you should fast on Janmashtami, right? No water, no fruits, so at least no grains until midnight. But mind is saying you can do it. But by clear intelligence means intelligence brings the informations from the Shastras. Bring that from the mode of goodness. How? From the mode of goodness, bring that intelligence. Please have a seat, sir. Yeah. You can sit in the chair. Okay. So bring those intelligence and then counterattack your mind, and then you follow the principles of the Shastras. So what is there? So Krishna always, in many of these slokas, he always says, try to subdue the mind. What he said to Krishna, to Arjuna? You can control the wind. Arjuna said, I can control the wind, but I cannot control the mind. Because mind is it's a dangerous element. It's more dangerous than ISIS, isn't it? So it's likely coming in that mode, so which is coming here, they control the self. What Krishna is saying, that one should never lose sight of the actual goal of mental activity. So what is the goal of mental activity? Goal of mental activity is to attain Krishna, isn't it? Mana Krishna Padarabindayar. And Krishna, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he sees the impersonalist or Mayavadis, they say, I am Narayan, you are Narayan. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu closed his ear and said, Krishna matir astu. Let my mind go to Krishna. Because if you think yourself Narayan, you think yourself as God, then you are fallen. We are living beings. We are Jivatma. We are just human beings. We do not have that much of power like God. So we have to accept the fact that I am different than God. God is somebody else. And who is that? That has to come from the clear intelligence, which will tell us who God is. But the bottom line is, which Krishna repeatedly saying, that one should never lose sight. Just like if you say, you are going for my son, you are going to Stanford for undergraduate studies in physics, do not mingle with the druggist. Do not get attracted to the drug, sex with the teenagers, because that is the time. You guide them, right? Don't you say? So basically what you say, do not lose sight of your goal. What is your goal? That you have to get your degree. Do not lose sight of you got a chance getting in Harvard, Stanford, Oxford, or big universities when you get. What you say, do not lose sight that you first continue your studies. So similarly, when you get a chance to connect with Krishna, our goal becomes to Krishna. What is Krishna is saying? Do not lose sight of your mental activities. Down the roads you will get a lot of ups and downs. But no matter what you do is conquering the life, air and senses and utilizing intelligence strengthened by the mode of goodness, one should bring the mind under the control of the sense. So mind is not a good thing, not a good person, or not a good element. It is, of course, an adamant, stubborn. It is always, just imagine, without your knowledge, mind acts many things. Mind says, oh, it's 7:30 a.m., you can still sleep. What's the big deal? It will give you good information. It will give you good information. What information? Oh, Bill Clinton sleeps at 8 a.m. President sleeps. Obama sleeps until 8:15. Something like that. I'm just not necessarily making a fact. But it will bring you very informative things to you to satisfy you so that you sleep. Just like if I heat my body, I am not feeling. As long as my mind is there, I don't care. Only because I feel if a person is hurt, little blood is coming, if you go and say, oh my God, you have to call 911, that person would be what? He will, oh really? But if you say, it's nothing, let me put some Neosporin, nothing. That word will give confidence. So what is there is, sometimes you are lost, your family members or something happened, then people comes to console. They consult your mind. Because mind is always weak, always strong and weak, detrimental, stubborn, as well as more flexible. More flexible means it can occupy your schedule. It can occupy your space. It's such a rascal enemy. It can do anything to you without notice, without your informations, without your understanding. And how to do it? That's why if you are fighting with a great enemy, we have to also bring spies, right? Without a proper spies, can you win the enemy? No. Who is our spies? Our spies we should develop, our spies should be our heart. What you do is, spy the heart to the mind, that I will listen to my heart. And what is that? That I have to do Krishna Bhakti. At least I will chant 1 round a day. At least I will read 1 sloka Bhagavad Gita a day. So that I will bring my control mind. Because in the previous section, Krishna is saying that you have to train your mind. Without training, you come to the mode of goodness. And you cannot have a steady intelligence. And how? Under the control of the self. Now can you go back to the Bhagavad Gita, Prabhuji? Last sloka which you have to discuss. Not this one, the 6, 7, 8, 6. Yeah, this is the one. So this is the last sloka Bhagavad Gita, which is saying, read the sloka also. Can you up? Dheeraj Prabhuji, can you recite it?
Jitatmanah prasantasya
Jitatmanah prasantasya
Paramatma samahitah
Paramatma samahitah
Sitosna sukha dukhesu
Sitosna sukha dukhesu
तथा मनापमनो मनायोः
Tatha manapamanayoho. Scroll down. So for one who has conquered the mind, repeat. The super soul is already reached. For he has attained tranquility. To such a man, happiness and distress, heat and cold, honor and dishonor are all the same. How big is the purport, Prabhuji? Little bigger? Okay, let's read it. Actually, every living entity is intended to abide by the dictation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is seated in everyone's heart as Paramatma. When the mind is misled by the external illusory energy, one becomes entangled in material activities. Therefore, as soon as one's mind is controlled through one of these yoga systems, one should be considered to have already reached the destination. One has to abide by superior dictation. When one's mind is fixed on the superior nature, he has no alternative but to follow the dictation of the Supreme. The mind must admit some superior dictation and follow it. The effect of controlling the mind is that one automatically follows the dictation of the Paramatma or Super Soul. Because this transcendental position is at once achieved by one who is in Krishna consciousness, the devotee of the Lord is where? Okay, sorry. Unaffected by the dualities of material existence, namely distress and happiness, cold and heat, etc. This state of practical samadhi or absorption in the Supreme. So what is that here saying? That one has to, initially you find out first sloka, that mind and this is different, then how to conquer then Krishna said that you must conquer the mind, then only, because there are some people, I remember, it is my personal story, don't take it personal. I used to be outside always, and I go to my home in India. So my brother had in India kept a Doberman dog, the big one, black dog. So when I go there, it is naturally I'm a stranger. So in the night when I come, she would be hounding around, how, 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 like that. So in the morning what I did is I asked, Psh, come on to me. So it came. I just squeezed his head 5 times, like really scrabble. So that he was doing 5-10 times. Then after that, he became my friend because I subdued him. He knows that this guy is strong, superior than me. I just breathe and does like that. And then he became my friend. So mind is like that. Don't be slow, loose. Prabhupada gave a very good example how to control the mind. And he gave the example in circus. Everybody seen circus? They keep tigers and lions, right? So how do they train? So this will be a good example to train your mind. So he said in the morning walk, recently I was listening, that when he captured the tiger, what they do is they put it in a cage. And 5 days, they do not give any water or anything, 15 days. What they come? In the morning to evening, 3 days they don't take care of anything. 4th day, the guy would come. No water, no food. He will have a whip. He will hit like 25 times. Then next day, again he would come, the ringleader. He will whip it. The tiger is likely senseless. Then 5th day they will come, again they do it. And they give little water. Little water. Then another 10 days, they will come and morning and evening. They will hit him 20-40 times with a solid. Then after 20 days, they'll give little meat or food after hitting. So it will go on for 40 days, 30-40 days. Frag, like that. Without any cause, without any reason, just hit. So after 1 month or 2 months, when they are little bit, they give food and they increase their food and hitting goes less. It becomes peak and it goes less. So 45 days, 2 months goes on this exercise. The tiger thinks, this is my master. He can save me, he can kill me. He can give me food, he cannot give me food. So this is my master. And whatever he says, he follows it. Because he knows that he will give me food, he will give me water, and he can hit me also. So you have to use the same formula to your mind. You have to hit your mind. If mind says, don't go temple, hit your mind. Who are you? If mind says, don't chant today, hit your mind. Mind says, don't go book distribution. They will call, the solicitation is not allowed. Don't follow. So we go book distribution. Rain or shine, go book distribution. Every Saturday we go book distribution, do book distribution, do service of Krishna. Because mind always says, oh, you are so tired today, you worked already 1 hour cooking in temple, don't go book distribution, you already did your service. No, the mind is capturing you. Mind is capturing you. Oh, he said something, don't eat meat. Mind would say, eat. How will you get protein? When I was there in many years, I used to go, my father used to argue, oh, doctor said you have to eat garlic. I said, doctor, our doctor is Krishna. He said not to use garlic in the food. So we don't, when you offer to Krishna, then it is there. We are healthy. Today, there are doctor 5 years, there is a whole set of different medicine values they bring. The whole set of instructions they bring differently, the doctors. So our real doctor is Krishna. Krishna something has said, he doesn't change it. Krishna something he has given you, does he take away anyone's free will? Krishna has given free will to everybody, isn't it? Does he take it away? He gives free will to demon, he gives free will to dog, he gives free will to rat, he gives free will to the demigod. He gives free will, he never takes away. Anything Krishna has given, it is eternal, permanent. Krishna has given mind, it is eternal. Krishna has given intelligence, it is eternal. Krishna has given our spirit, self, mame vansa jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana, is eternal. So nothing in this world what Krishna has given is not eternal. Means everything is eternal, means not impermanent. So that is the mercy of Krishna. So here we are bringing that. How do you get that point? Because if you conquer the mind. So mind has to be treated like the captured tiger. Durdante mana, Durdante indriya. Indriya, Durdanta means very dangerous. These indriyas are very dangerous. Nowadays you can see, we are trapped by these indriyas. The sarvendriya, exhaust indriya. So how do you control the indriyas? Only way, that first thing is understand the strength of the mind. The mind has such an imaginative power. It can challenge God, it can surrender to God. But generally it doesn't surrender to God. Because we are in Maya, because it's a material mind. And Mana Krishna Padarabinda, Mana Krishna Nivesito, means this mind has to be, Nivesita means, Vishesha means something specific. Niveshita means we concentratedly, we focus concentratedly on subject with attention, with a purpose. That is called Niveshita. Means I concentrate, if I ask you, Dimitri Prabhuji, Kedarnath Prabhuji, tell me how many cars in the parking lot. Can you tell? 6? Can you count? No. I'm just kidding. I'm not calculating your memory. So if I ask Rashmi Mataji, can you tell how many windows we have in the temple? Maybe we guess it. Who is Nivesita? Can I concentrate my mind? I'm not getting profit. But if you are City of Department of Mountain View, you have to count the windows. Then that is your job. You don't see Krishna. You see the windows. Isn't it? Because my mind is there with a purpose, with an objective. What is my objective? What assignment has been given to me? But our mind is not to calculate. Definitely we can see also. It's not a big deal. But our mind is at the Krishna's lotus feet. But if you ask our temple commander here, Ramanand Saka, he can tell which wire is going where, which wire is connected from where, which light switch is from where is the air conditioning buttons from the temple. That is his Krishna. Because he has Nivesita. He has invested his mind in those things for Krishna's service. So, Mana Krishna Nivesita. Krishna Nivesita means, we know there are many people who do not know where the garbage bag is. Because they wanted to come and they know where the food is coming from, but they do not know where the garbage is. That doesn't mean that you should know both. But they are those people who are serving, cleaning the garbage, they know where the garbage is, bag is, and where to do it, and where to dump it, and which day it goes out. Isn't it? So, Mana Krishna Nivesita means, There are many things which is we do not need to care, and there are many things which we do not know it based on our level of service or based on our needs. Just like there are people who are here, they can exactly tell what the square feet of this room, what exactly it is needed. But for us, it is not needed. So how do you know? As long as there is a purpose. So without having a purpose, you don't care to know, isn't it? Why do we care to know how many windows we have? Do we care to know? We do not know. So why do you care to know how many wattage of these bulbs are? Do you care to know? Unless you see the electricity bill and you have to reduce your electricity bill, then you may calculate how much wattage, how much things will come. So what I mean to say is there should be a purpose behind something so that you pay attention, isn't it? So why do you pay attention? If your gas bill is going down for buy a car, then you think of alternative to buy an electric car or something. So you have a purpose. So exactly same thing here. So can you go to the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Prabhuji, the 3 sloka we'll read and then, yes. So let me see. Nirbikara deha mana kastha pasana sama ascharya taruni sparshe nirbikara mana. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Antalila 5.41. Go down. His mind is as steady as wood or stone. Indeed, it is wonderful that even when he touches such young girls, his mind never changes. This is especially for Krishna. So what is that? His mind is as steady as wood or stone. Indeed, it is wonderful that even when he touches such young girls, his mind never changes. Means, he is not agitated. Who is true yogi? Who is not agitated by any kind of material conditions. Go to the next one, Prabhuji. Okay. Panditera sanetara manapiri gela Kishora Gopala Upasanaya Manalila Manadila. Come down. In the association of Gadadhar Pandit, his mind was converted and he dedicated his mind to worshipping Kishore Gopal, Krishna, as a young boy. So mind can be converted also. Is it true? Because we have seen when our Sankirtan leader is here, Sri Krishna Purushottam, he converts mind of the people to buy Chaitanya Charitamrita set. He goes, they never bought $5 any magazine in their life, but they have bought the whole set because the glorification of the words of the book, when you say they buy Bhagavad Gita, they buy Chaitanya Charitamrita, they buy Srimad Bhagavatam. How many of you have Srimad Bhagavatam or Chaitanya Charitamrita? You have Chaitanya Charitamrita? Bhagavad Gita? Bhagavatam you have. Then you are eligible to get Chaitanya Charitamrita. Online, why are you not with the real book? Can you get it? It's $99. Thank you. So you can get it. Anyone? Haladhar Prabhu is back. So who has, Ashish Prabhu, you have Chaitanya Charitamrita? You are such a sincere devotee. What? Yeah. Say yes.
Yeah, I'll get it.
Sarivo. When in Vedic ages people say yes, they say Om, Om, Om. Say Om, Om, Om 3 times. Don't be afraid. It will occupy your whole brain system. Who wants? How about you, ma'am? You don't have? You have Bhagavad Gita? Okay. You have? You have? Oh, Srimad Bhagavatam first canto. Chaitanya Charitamrita is like $99. And this is because Gaur Purnima is coming and we are doing a campaign in our temple. So if you like to take one set, you want? Okay? What about Dheeraj Prabhu? You are a bachelor boy. You can still get one. You will get one. And you can pay when you get the job. And because Chaitanya Charitamrita will bring you all success and happiness. Give a big Hari Bol. Dimitri Prabhu, you have. You want to get another copy? Double Moranjan, no? Okay. All right, I don't want to embarrass a lot of people, those who don't want, don't be. But definitely it is, as long as whatever way, whatever means. How about you, sir? You have Chaitanya Charitamrita? Okay. I didn't want to miss anyone. How about you, sir? Not yet? Ready? You have Bhagavad Gita. I know everybody has Bhagavad Gita. But Chaitanya Charitamrita, which is a very beautiful book, the one which I am reading is from Chaitanya Charitamrita about mind control. You can get directly. Do you want to keep one? Not now? Okay, no problem.
Prabhuji, just one point to add to your commentary, that Krishnaraj Kaviraj Goswami, who is the author of Chaitanya Charitamrita, in the purports he begs devotees, please read this book. You will get to know heart of the God. Like you want to know about the other things like activities of the Lord, you have to read Srimad Bhagavatam. But you want to know about heart of the God, you have to read Chaitanya Charitamrita. So, and thank you for your presentation on Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita. Thank you, Prabhu.
So we are controlling the mind by the spy of the heart. So we have to place the real espionage, which is the spy is Supreme Lord and Chaitanya Charitamrita. Very good. So you can give your name to Purushottam Prabhu. He will, and we have a payment card here. You can pay by credit card, and you can get just $99. It comes to temple. You get also beautiful 9 book, which is very auspicious to really keep, because it has an illuminating power, which really all bad effects in your home, all ill effects, that will also gradually diminish by placing Chaitanya Charitamrita in your home. Just like magnet, if you keep, it has its own influence, right? Sphere of influence. So similarly, Chaitanya Charitamrita has its own influence, which can penetrate the bad effects, the ghostly, the subtle effects, the bad influences, the bad stars, whatever you can call. It has the counterating potencies, including giving love of Godhead. So let's go to the next sloka, Prabhuji, last one. Okay. तासवार अंतरे भय प्रभु मने जानी काइते लगाइला लोके शीघ्र दाखियानी. Can you read? All of you? Go up, yeah. Scroll down. Understanding the anxiety within the people's minds, the Lord called them together and spoke to them as follows. Who can say on what context the Lord is saying? Quiz for the audience. We are discussing about mind, right, today? Mind, your mind. So, just here, understanding the anxiety within the people's minds, the Lord called them together and spoke to them as follows. Use your microphone. Here. Prabhuji, can you give? Okay. He has got. You can keep that, Haldar.
I'm trying it. So, how can I not forget Krishna?
How can I forget Krishna?
Not forget.
Not forget Krishna. Excellent. Anybody has?
That was the biggest fear of Prahalad.
Yes. Very good. So, you are reading Srimad Bhagavatam then.
You are also reading Chaitanya Charitamrita at home.
Okay, at home. No, I am not. Just the books itself can give more power. So you can give reference next time. Srivas Pandit says this or Gadadhar Pandit says this. So that would give us more.
Just started with Adi Leela.
Adi Leela. Very nice. Give a big hand. What's your name?
Badri Narayan.
Badri Narayan. My goodness, you are yourself God's name. Remember God. Very good. Thank you very much. What about anyone else? Yes. Give the microphone back.
I think the context is the previous Srimad Bhagavatam verse which you read about, like the bewildered mind and like what the mind has traveled through so many bodies and it is still in anxious state. So that's what I mean, I don't know the answer, but that's the best thing
Yeah. That's good. Anybody else?
So the example where demigods and devatas going on Garuda, for that one. So they are so busy thinking about, each other and, getting the nectar and all, and they forgot the essence of, thinking back, going back to Godhead. Is that? Make
Yes,
sense?
you are approaching. Good. Good. Any other? So this is the one which is, the drum was broken by the Qazi. And then Lord has to say the people's mind, and he has to gather for a march, for what you call the civil disobedience first rally in Mayapur, Lord is arranging. So people's minds are disturbed. For example, when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was in the mood of Narsingadev, and in a roaring sound, he ran in the whole village, and everybody was afraid. Because the scene was very panic. Then Lord decided, oh my God, I should not disturb the common man in any form. So we should not violently disturb the common man's mentality. Even though it is, his mood is there, but he controlled his mood and then thought that way. So similarly, the people's mind, how he read the people's mind. How do you read the people's mind? How do I read the people's mind here? That when the arti will come, or when we are going to see the Lord, or some divine experience is there, as you are inside the temple room. You go to people's mind where they are discussing about how to counterattack terrorism. Then at the same time, what is their mind? They are devising a plan what is the threats are for. And if you are finding out how to win a World Cup, then there is something in the mind strategy which is going on. Suppose you wanted to design how to open a hospital. If a meeting is going on, then there is a mind we can read by the concept or the context you are discussing on. So similarly, we are discussing on how to control the mind, or the mind, to know the strength of the mind, to know whether mind is a friend or an enemy, and what are the training or techniques adopted, we have to understand that. So I think this is the whole subject matter which I brought today about the mind from Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita, which comprehensively gives us the input to understand the degree of the mind cannot be your friend, which is the first lessons learned. That mind, don't trust the mind, mind cannot be your friend, and mind cannot be negotiated, mind should be conquered. Mind should be ownable, mind should be winning. It's a challenge. It's a challenge that mind would be owned. Krishna said mind would be conquered only. That means you have to fight. Conquer means you have to vigilantly attack, be assertive towards the mind's argument. So you cannot go loose. You cannot be simple towards mind. Be hard. And then finally said, if you control the mind, you get me. Krishna says that you have attained the super soul who has controlled the mind, who has conquered the mind. And how? That training path is because mind has two lobby agents. Who lobbies for mind? Yoga personified and Maya. And Maya has how many characteristics? 2. And Kali Yuga has how many? 4. And we have to counterattack them. And in this way, and how to get all those things? Mana Krishna Nivesita. So always surrender or remembering or thinking of Lord Krishna so that you can counterattack the mind. Because do not trust mind. First thing, assumption, mind is not your friend. That is the first conclusion. If you take, then only you can conquer the mind. Because mind can influence you. Oh, today there may be cloud, rain, don't go book distribution. Today there may be something, oh, there may not be parking today, Sunday, don't go to temple. Today there may be something, don't do Mangalarti. Oh, 7:30 a.m. What's the big deal? It's just sleep. Your class is at 9 a.m. You can wake up at 8:15. So mind can trick you all circumstances. Mind can trick you all circumstances. As I mentioned you, if I hit my head for many times, I don't feel sickness because my mind is strong. So why should I feel? So similarly, mind is the greatest enemy now, but we have to make him as a greatest friend. Don't think only mind is the friend of the pure devotees and mind is our enemies. That is the bottom line. Don't think your mind is your friend because mind is dictating us in a way so that we are away from Krishna. How? Morning to night, I gave many examples. From sleeping to go to bed, mind is dictating. From eating to taking bath, mind is dictating. Because I came home today. I was coming to my office 10 o'clock, and in the middle of the way, I come by 280 from San Jose, near this 87, I remember that I didn't bring my dhotis and my stuffs, and my home is like 20 miles here. I come to work in Palo Alto. So at the same time, my mind says, that's okay, you can give a class with wearing a jeans. You know, what's the big deal? People are anywhere, they will listen. And you can give an excuse. But immediately I remember, today I am giving the class of mind, and if I do, then I hit my mind. You idiot, you are giving me such advice? No. I have a meeting also at 10 o'clock. I have a meeting at 10:30. I cannot reach. I must reach. I said, damn, that's it. I have to come. And I took 87, go to Santa Clara, entire way. And there are many roads are blocked. I said, look, mind was saying, see, I was saying you, do not come back to get your dhotis. What's the big deal? You can give a class by wearing a jeans. I said, no. So anyway, I have to curb my mind and win over the mind. So I conquer my mind, and I went there. I have to attend my call over the phone and whatsoever it is, but it is adjusted. Finally, you have to win. My example is finally you have to win the mind. Okay, Jai Sri Sri Radha Madan Mohan Bhagavan ki, Sriman Mahaprabhu ki, Gaur Premanande, Chaitanya Charitamrita ki. So please make sure that you can, those who have placed, pay it here and get the blessings from Chaitanya Charitamrita from Radha Madan Mohan today. We'll offer to Mahaprabhu lotus feet and give the book to you. Okay? Hare Krishna. Thank you.